A controversial, non-alcoholic cocktail is New York's most recent nightlife trend. These drinks promise relief from anxiety, stress, and insomnia, and they're made with kava, an ancient root from the South Pacific Islands. Originally, it was used as a ceremonial beverage.
More recently, it's more used as a communal drink, not so much ceremonial, but more for the same reason, bringing people together.
That was Chris Ludwig, manager of the first kava bar in New York. Kava Sutra opened in July of 2015. 2 more bars have since opened in February of this year.
You can come into a kava bar, enjoy kava, and not worry about, making a fool of yourself or calling your ex or doing any of the things that alcohol could lead you to do.
It's that relaxing social atmosphere that attracts recovering addicts, minors, and tourists trying it for the first time, like Katie Castles, who's visiting from Australia.
Kava feels like, weed.
But those in the know often seek an off-menu option, kratom. In small quantities, it's a stimulant, but when taken in larger doses, it acts as a sedative, mimicking some of the effects of opiates. Keith Pastucci has been drinking kratom tea for 5 years as a way to manage his back pain. He was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease in 2001. Over the past few years, the United States has seen a drug crisis that caused nearly 2 million deaths from overdose in 2014. When he was first diagnosed, Pastucci was aware of the addictive properties of prescription drugs. He was prescribed Percocet, but the side effects were so debilitating that he would often have to go without his pills to be able to drive to work.
I would have to make a choice. Am I going to take a painkiller and stay home from work? Or am I going to not take a painkiller, suffer, go to work anyway? It comes to a point where you just have to make those decisions, and it's really tough to make those decisions sometimes. Once a month, I was to the point where I had to call in sick to work. Couldn't get up, couldn't stand up, couldn't drive, couldn't walk, and I was just had to lay in bed. That was it. I had gained 100 pounds, and I was pretty depressed, and I wanted to do something about it. And I knew narcotics weren't working, so I used Google to do a simple search for herbal pain relief, and I came across kratom. The first day I tried kratom, the pain disappeared. It felt liberating. I just felt great. I just couldn't believe it because nothing else had ever worked before.
Though Keith's experience is common with those who use kratom for pain relief, some recovering addicts who use kratom in place of opiates have found kratom to be harmful.
The medications that we use for opiate addiction and treatment are long-acting medications that stay in your body a long time. And you decrease the roller coaster up and down that you get with drugs like heroin. And it's that roller coaster up and down that really reinforces the addiction.
Studies have also linked kava to liver toxicity, but addiction psychiatrist Dr. Henrik Zakari thinks thousands of years of indigenous use prove that these herbs aren't as damaging as some might think.
They're clearly not killing people left and right like heroin and the opiate addiction problem is that we have in this country.
Still, some users have reported negative experiences. Hundreds of anonymous online posts showed just how destructive kratom can be. One user said, "Went through my first true withdrawal from kratom, 2.5 days without. I'm a daily user of it, basic leaf powders, and have been for the past 8 months. No breaks or days off. Well, something happened and I had to go cold turkey. I wound up in a hospital for other reasons. I experienced one withdrawal symptom basically, but it was a miserable one that medication wouldn't help at all." There's even an online community called Quitting Kratom, and its message board is filled with stories of people who are trying to curb their kratom addiction. There are currently no legal restrictions on kava or kratom, but a proposed bill in New York would ban the use of kratom statewide. The substance has already been banned in 4 states, and 8 others are working on bills similar to the one in New York.
To ban something because of fear of recreational use getting out of control, usually when a substance gets banned, it also gets banned in research, for research purposes. And the problem is that doesn't serve anybody.
Until research is done, Dr. Zakari thinks that the most dangerous aspect of substances like kava and kratom is how they're used in the United States.
The American way is going to be, well, if 2 is good, 5 is better. If this one is good, what if I combine it with this one? And so just the nature of drug use is not to use one in isolation, but usually to combine things to get a greater, larger, bigger expansive effect. And it's the combination that, again, is going to be the problem.
Pastucci thinks enforcing an age limit for kratom is a good idea, but doesn't think the substance should be banned altogether.
They're afraid of it because they don't know what it is. Every substance on earth has a positive and a negative to it. I haven't met anybody ever whose life spiraled out of control because they started to take kratom. Nobody. It's only helped people. It has never hurt anyone.